Hello and welcome to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Yvonne, and we're going to concentrate on this video and maybe the next one on things retirement. I am hearing a lot about retirement, of course, because most of the people related to me by family or friendship are my age, are above 65, most of them, and beyond. I'm in my mid-70s, and we hear a lot about retirement. There are hundreds and hundreds of YouTube videos and podcasts and talks. You can go press reports, statistics about this and that. But I don't dwell on that. I don't like to complicate my life as if I was in a classroom, having to complete an assignment. I'm not very good at that. And one of the things that I'm hearing about a lot is planning your retirement. Now, I have built a questionnaire of 6 or 7 questions, to put it that way, the redundancy there, and interviewed a few people between the ages of 60 and 85, most of them retired women who were either professionals or simply working on other things, and only one gentleman. Wow. I would like to have had the opportunity to interview more men because the views are quite different. Now, to use my case as an example, to give you an idea, I have never planned my retirement. I really, even today in my mid-70s, I think that, well, yes, I will be retired one day, but whatever happens, happens. In the meantime, I'm living in a way that I am not putting in danger my future, to put it that way. But I am not really stressing over the financial aspect of it. I think that my finances, if I keep producing as I am right now, will be the same. I'm not a big spender. I'm not a person who throws away money just for the sake of it. And I have enough to live well and comfortably. So I have never planned. And when I was 60, I started, I was working as a full-time interpreter. From one place to another, I had to go to hospitals, the courts, lawyers' offices, clinics, social security, schools. Very, 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 different interviews and work that I had to do, and it was very interesting because I met a lot of people and it was active and it was different every time. It was not monotonous or boring at all, and I loved my job actually. So I developed one day a problem with the knee that became worse, needed attention, and I realized that I could not continue with that type of work anymore because I could not drive long distances without feeling pain. I could not park away from the premises because walking became at one point an agony that forced me to really say, that's it. So I had to leave that, and it took a few weeks, probably 3-4 months even, to completely abandon the interpreting activity. And the little bit of income that I may have missed by doing that became compensated by taking on Spanish language teaching. So that was a little bit more relaxed, and I did that for 4 years, 4 evenings every week, and met a lot of interesting people and we had a lot of laughter, and language lessons can be very funny at times. So it was quite an enjoyable experience that gave me a good input and kept my budget under control. There was no worry on my part, but I did not plan any of this. The opportunity was there, it happened, I had the doors open, I went through them, and I kept going. So after 4 years, I decided that I was starting to get a little bit tired now, to be teaching 4 evenings a week and coming back home tired, not eating well, and all the rest. So I gave that up as well and decided that I would concentrate more on my translation work, which is the office I hold at home. That's my business. And starting to write more. I have a few, 2 or 3 writing projects. I've had them for not since yesterday, believe me. It seems like they will go on forever, but I do want to advance on that. And then I decided, out of the blue, to start this YouTube channel. I don't know if it'll bring, any income to me or if it will monetize, but it was not planned either. It was something fun, different, that would teach me different skills, give me the opportunity to approach people and contribute something and hear from people's experiences as well. So that's where I'm at the moment. And once I hear from my pension, from Social Security, I will decide if it is worth or not going through with it, because I need to make sure that whatever pension I'm getting and means that I can still work and produce. I don't want to have to sacrifice my lifestyle and my wants and needs, which are very basic. Really, I'm not demanding too much, but I don't want to sacrifice any of that for a pension. And I do know some people are literally panicking about that. They need the pension, if they don't have the pension and all this, and they're not looking at the possibilities they have to compensate with very pleasurable activities that they're still very capable of doing without having to panic about it. And you may end up being better off, if your mind is still good, your body is still good, mobility is good, even if you have to move more slowly. But there are many things that you can do to help yourself that will contribute also to other things. So in essence, what I mean to say is that I haven't planned any of this. This is happening as I go along, and I adapt very quickly, and I can see a little bit into the future and decide, well, there are changes that I have to make, and we'll go into those in a little bit. But other than that, I did not have a set plan. However, there is a lot of advice there for people, especially long before your retirement age, to start planning, and I can understand why. So now let's jump into the 2 points that I have brought here for you today, which are focusing on your retirement and being realistic about retirement. Well, after hearing all this, you may think that I am living as if nothing was ever going to happen to me or change in my life, as if I didn't have to take care of certain things and start doing a little bit of planning. But no, that is not the case. I now realize that at my age, mid-70s, of course, if I live to my mid-80s, that's 10 years where I can do quite a few things actually, but short term. At my age, there's no time now for long-term projects and plans. I may be able to plan a trip, a short one, but I could not say that I'm going to take off for 3 months to go to Europe and walk all over by myself. The likelihood of something happening to me if I do that is very high. It's very high. So when I talk about planning, for those of you who start early or at least during your first year of retirement, focusing on your finances and your health should have priority. So having a savings fund of between $3,000 to $5,000 there, untouched, for the events that may happen. It can be, your car broke down, your house roof started leaking and you need to do those repairs, or you were having problems all of a sudden with your hips, your knees, you need to go and see the doctor, you need to undergo physiotherapy or treatment, and you cannot do certain things, you name it. Anything that is unexpected and may cost money is well guarded with a savings fund. And that also allows you not to dig into your retirement fund for those minor things. Your savings fund, at least at my age and more, should be there for, the occasional trip, to make sure that I can live day after day comfortably and cover all my needs. If I still drive, I can maintain my car, properly, and that means services and petrol, nothing out of the ordinary. And then focusing on your health is very important, because without your health, nothing else will happen. You will not be able to control or enjoy anything. So you have to focus on the way you eat. Try to eat more healthily if you haven't, or keep it up if you have. Do exercise without exerting yourself. There's no need to rush and to push, and just a brisk walk, go swimming, walking on the beach, and if you can do it in company, even better. And focusing on your mental and emotional health is also important. So keep your mind active by taking a course, improving your skills, and remember that everything should be for your own peace of mind, short term. Something that you can do in the next 3 months and complete it, and it'll give you a lot of satisfaction, and at the same time, it will make you feel useful and interested and ready to have to go out and meet other people. If you choose activities like writing or reading, there are writing clubs and reading clubs, and you can share that with other people and share ideas, brainstorm over the books you have read, and so many other things. And as we do things like that, friendships start to build up and develop. New friends are always fascinating because they bring another dimension to your life. So we have to focus on that and make sure that's taken care of, and more or less you know where you want to go and how you want to manage that. Now, my second point is being realistic, which falls very close to what we just said. Being realistic means that no matter how much I dream and want to do things, and how healthy and mentally alert I am to do a lot of things, the fact is that I don't have the years ahead of me to guarantee that. I'm living on bonus time. I'm very grateful for that. But the likelihood of something happening that will prevent me from continuing any activity that I'm enjoying or any dream that I want to pursue is very high. So being realistic means, let's take a look, for example, at how I'm going to live. Now, one of the topics that I have run into lately is the combination of, or the comparison rather, between renting and owning a property. When you own a property and you have lived in that house 40 years, and that's the house that your children grew up in, your grandchildren enjoy, it is very sentimental to have to think that you may have to get rid of the house. However, you have to be realistic and practical. Do you now retire with your spouse, providing both of you are still capable and healthy, want to live in such a large house? Probably not. Do you still want the huge garden to take care of, the repairs and the maintenance of the house to take care of? Probably not. So when you own your house, you have the option of downsizing for your own benefit and comfort, and that should come first. Some people have said to me, oh, well, we are planning to leave the house for the grandchildren and the children to inherit, and that's what we can leave after we go. And then my question was, well, how do you know they will like that idea? How do you know they will use and live in that house and how do you know that they will be ready and willing to take on the responsibility of maintaining and keeping a house that's 40 years old and probably will need very soon some repairs or remodeling? It may be in a suburb that's completely away from, the areas they live with the children. It may be a house that requires a lot of living in activities. A big house, if you don't have the lifestyle that requires a lot of entertaining, where you have children and your children can move in with the grandchildren and really enjoy it, it may become a burden, hard to handle for your children. They will have to face the fact that eventually, if you leave the house, well, they have to rely on lawyers and other legal matters to sell the house. If the house is left to 3 of your children, they will have to go through dividing that property, deciding how and when to sell it, and it may create conflict and mental pressure that your children really don't need. So the way I see it personally is that selling your house, you have 2 options. The first one, to buy a smaller house, small, comfortable, modern, with everything working, a small yard to enjoy, and enough space for you and your spouse to move. If you have your spouse or partner with you, many of the cases that I have seen, the woman is all by herself, or the man sometimes is all by himself. So you just need enough space to sit comfortably and have a reading corner, your TV set if you wanted to watch a movie now and then, a small kitchen that has everything you need, which is not much at our age. We don't cook and entertain as we used to. And then the leftover of the sale of your big house can be put into, investment, a trust, savings, your retirement fund, and live off that. And then eventually when we go, we think that probably your children will be better off receiving as inheritance an X amount of money, and they will know and want what to do with that. But leaving a house, a big old house particularly, it can be quite a burden and a responsibility that they may find out they're not ready to dig into. And they didn't want to, and with all your good intentions, they'll be sorry they have to go through all this, because now you're imposing things on them and responsibilities that are hard to take sometimes. And they are also a family, so they would both, your children and their spouses, have to agree to a certain extent to certain things, and they may be different among all the siblings. So you eliminate all that, which is very healthy, and then in the long run, it works better for both your children and yourself. Now, another option, of course, is to rent the house. And many people don't like that idea. However, I have heard from some retirees that it's much better and more comfortable to deal with a rental than an ownership. First of all, you don't have any more responsibilities regarding the maintenance of the house. And it is really a comfort to know that any major repair or remodeling or fixing that has to be done in the house falls onto the landlord and the real estate agent. And all you have to do is report it, and hopefully, if it is a good landlord and a good real estate agent, hopefully, you will have that taken care of without any out-of-pocket expenses on your part. And if you keep the house in good shape in general, well, there's not much to worry about. Being a smaller house means that all the physical effort required to do the gardening and the pruning and the things that we used to enjoy when we were younger, it's also manageable. Cleaning the house, manageable, and you may have enough funds in your savings or your retirement fund, if well administered, to pay somebody to come once a week to do the heavy cleaning, bathrooms, toilets, the kitchen, and keep the house clean. And for you, it's just a matter of maintenance cleaning, hardly any work. So that's one good thing. And the other good thing is that also a small house, you can probably leave for a few days on a trip, and you don't have to worry too much about taking care of the house or having somebody come and taking care of the house, and your neighbors can help. So it is more relaxing and less stressful to worry about that. And then of course, you know that the rent you pay is steady for at least 1 year. You know how much you're paying, so your finances will not be disrupted if you manage your funds well. And if they raise the rent once a year, which is the usual thing, it will be for a little bit more, and then you can make the necessary adjustments. But being realistic, we have to remember that in the end, you may not be renting for as long as you thought you would. If you have to go into care, or if you have to take your spouse into care, things are going to change as well. So it could be that if you're on your own, you contemplate the other possibility, which is going into a residence for the elderly. And I don't mean a nursing home where everybody might be 95% of the residents might be very sick. It may be a residence where people are still reasonably healthy and active, and you can share with them things and go out and enjoy and socialize, but they will very likely have access to medical help if needed. The rooms or the apartments will be cleaned for you. The grounds will be taken care for you. All the gardening, swimming pools, if there are any, barbecue areas, the gyms, some of those facilities have gyms. That's all taken care of. Of course, you pay a price. Those places are not cheap. And it is important to remember, when you go into a deal like that, which is very out of the ordinary compared to renting or owning a home, it's advisable to talk to a financial planner or to read, first of all, the small print and make sure that you know exactly how it is going to work and if it is in the long run convenient for you or not financially. Because if you're going to end up on the losing end, that's not very good. And I have seen cases where that has happened. So, all in all, yes, plan a little bit your retirement for you. It's going to be your second chance at life for yourself to enjoy in your own terms, at your own time, at your own pace. And the rest of the people, including your children and grandchildren, will have to follow suit. They will have to adapt to that. There may be times they want to come and visit or invite you for dinner, but you are going to be busy with your own things. Give your life some purpose, be it a course or a new group of activities. Volunteering is another very rewarding way to fill in your retirement years. It's an opportunity to give to others, to teach others. Sometimes if you volunteer with teenagers and children into their activities, it can be very rewarding and they will love it as well. And sharing with other volunteers the experiences that you all have can be very interesting, and we learn a lot through people. At my age, I'm amazed that it doesn't matter what I do, where I go, every day I learn something new from somebody. You would think that after 70 you know enough, you know it all, and there's nothing left. Oh, no. There is quite a bit. And I love it. I love the challenge of it. And I am a very curious person by nature. So whenever something new comes my way, I'm always asking questions and show me and why did you do this and how does that work and whatever. I would love to try that. And you discover also a lot of things that are available for you in your retirement years and that you will discover you don't like as much. You know, I have seen some cases of people who always say, I always wanted to paint acrylics. I'm going to take a course. And when they take the course, they realize it's not for them. It's not what they thought. So you have sometimes ideas about things you would like to do and projects you would like to tackle that when you put your hands on them, they turn out to be not exactly as you imagined them. And therefore, you have the choice of closing the door and say, okay, let me try something different. Why not? But you have it all for the taking there. There's nothing wrong with discovering that you don't like to pursue something that is not for you and try something else. And eventually, yes, there's always something we like. And I think probably most of the things we will enjoy during retirement are closely tied to the social aspect of things. We enjoy the good laughter, the funny things that may happen, the meals together, the getting dressed to go out and do something different, going to the theater now and then, walking on the beach, having a meal at a very different place. You know, let's go and find Sri Lankan food or something like that. Why not try? So you are there also in retirement, open to a lot of new experiences that are very enjoyable, and they don't require of you a lot of money, a lot of time, or a lot of effort. So plan carefully to make sure you're financially stable and without headaches, that your health is good, and that you know where you will want to end up living and in what style. And I'll wish you all the best in your retirement. I have a lot of work to do on that as well. I'll keep you posted. And in the meantime, have a lovely, lovely weekend. Today is Australia Day here. It's a holiday. So people are not working. They're probably all at the beach. Who knows? But tomorrow, we'll be back into the rat race. See you. Bye.